Item 10C is adopt a resolution repealing the existing parking restriction on the east side of the 700 block of Hensley Avenue and establishing a new parking restriction on the east side of the 700 block of Hensley Avenue between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. on the first and third Monday of every month for street sweeping.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Earlier this year, staff received a request from the resident that lived along the 700 block of Hensley Avenue, who inquired whether the parking restrictions on the east side of the block can be removed to create more parking spaces. Given that there is a shortage of parking spaces, the resident was interested in creating additional parking spaces for the neighborhood. The 700 block of Hensley Avenue is located between San Bruno and Keynes Avenue and parallels El Camino Real. On the east side of the block are single-family homes. On the west side are mostly commercial, which consist of Shell gas station, Melody Toyota, and Midas Auto Repair. Currently, parking is restricted along the east side of the road from 7 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. at night, except for Sundays and holidays. The west side allows public parking except for the hours between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for street sweeping on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. Staff evaluated the residents' request and brought the item to TSPC last month for discussion. The evaluation consisted of assessing the roadway width and determining why parking restrictions existed only along the east side of the block. Staff determined that the roadway width is 28 feet, very similar to the other nearby residential streets in the neighborhood, and those streets allow parking on both sides. And historical records were searched, and review of those available records and agreements with the city and the Melody Toyota and other businesses provided little information regarding parking requirements. Staff also contacted adjacent businesses to determine whether they would oppose the removal of the parking restrictions. The Shell gas station and St. Bruno Church did not provide any feedback. Melody Toyota and Midas were in favor of removing the parking restrictions. At the TSPC meeting, staff presented the removal of the parking restriction and let them know that they will create 20 additional parking spaces. Residents spoke in favor of removing the restrictions, and not one resident opposed. TSPC voted 4-0 to accept the staff recommendations of removing the parking restrictions. And the only time the parking will be restricted is between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the first and third Monday of each month for street sweeping. As for the fiscal impact, the cost of removing and replacing the signs is approximately about $500, and there's sufficient funding in the operating budget to install these signs. So that concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anything for Jimmy, staff, or action? To introduce.
I'd like to introduce the, hold on a second. Resolution.
Councilmember Marty Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Rico Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ibarra.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.